Welcome to another dream dissection video where I share my vivid, unbelievable sounding dreams for your enjoyment of finding hidden interpretations. This one is super obvious, to me anyway, what fear I was working through. It starts off with me studying at a table in a library. I'm in university and a group of people who were my friends in high school appear. They're going to this university too, apparently. So they all sit down and we chat, and rather than feeling anxious, I'm feeling great about the unexpected socializing. We're hitting it off again, and I think this is the start of something great. That I won't be so lonely in classes anymore, or between classes, because we're not exactly in the same program. Anyway, hours go by in dream time, and I realize that I have to go to the front desk to check out a book before the library staff leaves, though the actual building is like open 24/7. I try to say to the group at large that I have to go, and I want more than anything to get some kind of confirmation that we could do this again sometime, get people's numbers, but nobody is paying attention to me. I slowly kind of make a show of gathering my stuff and getting up, hoping that someone will notice or say something, but they don't. The realization that nobody cares whether I'm even there or not hurts a lot, so I just leave. My hopes of reuniting with old friends dead. And, this is actually something that happened in real life plenty of times. But in the dream, I get to the checkout desk with the book that I need, but I'm super upset and trying not to show it, so I'm shaking and can't get my student ID out of my wallet. I end up pulling out the wrong card, and the librarian is super unimpressed. It's an old student ID from before I transferred here or something, so the librarian just assumes that's the only one I have, and they start lecturing me, like, you should have sorted the transfer papers out the first week of school. How irresponsible of you. I'm not making exceptions for you. And on they go. And I can't get a word in to correct them that I do have the right ID, but they're stressing me out. My fingers aren't working. Eventually, I'm shaking so bad, and I'm so upset that I end up dropping my wallet, all of my cards scatter all over the floor, and I just run away crying because I can't handle it. And the worst part is, even though it's reactionary as I'm doing it, because this is also a dream, this is like me playing out a bad situation, I'm also worried about how awkward it'll be to deal with retrieving my lost items after the fact. Like, how do I explain to the librarian on the next shift what happens? Like, what if it's the same one? And then she just starts yelling at me for dropping my stuff and running away. And obviously, I don't have anyone else in my life here at this university or whatever that I can ask to go pick that stuff up for me at a later date in the lost and found or whatever. And that's when I woke up. I carried the upset with me, as I do sometimes when there's high emotion in my dreams. So, the first part of the dream was just me reliving hurt from the past. I'd often slip out of groups when it was clear that nobody really cared I was there in the first place. It's a really hurtful realization, especially when you are enjoying the presence of people and the feeling isn't mutual. Secondly, though, I can't handle being scolded, even if it's not fair or accurate. Like, that librarian was just making assumptions and going off, and I couldn't get a word in to correct the situation. And I also kind of had this ID thing happen at a post office once. So, like, both of these things have literally happened before in a different way. But thirdly, and most importantly, with those two other things in mind, I think my dream was trying to highlight how isolated I've been at times in my life, not having a support network or people who can help me when I'm not doing well, even when I've wanted to make friends. Like, why do I dream these things? Because my brain is cruel. I honestly don't know. It doesn't help me to suffer emotional upset. It's really not preparing me for potential problems in the future. It's just reminding me how shitty things have been. So, I don't know. If you can find any extra hidden messages in my dream, let me know in the comments below. And if you know of any ways to prevent dreams, I'd love to try that out.